Hey there, this is Gabe Quachi walking you through a career exercise for people that are looking to change their career or change their job and just want a bit more guidance for how to do that. So, this is a set of three specific exercises or three sections, and it's in Miro, this like digital whiteboard tool that's really cool for visually working through concepts and abstract things. And you can drag things around. It's very easy to use. There's some tips for using Miro up here, as well as some tips at the top for um, how much time to take in each section. So pinching and zooming is the way that you go in deeper or farther out in Miro. Section one is to begin with reflecting. Open your perspective up. What have you learned that you like, that you don't like? What are your goals, your questions? What are you willing to commit to in this time of seeking your next step in order to support figuring out what that best next step is? The first part, you go over here and start on the far left, and it's section 1.1. This is ikigai. It's a great Japanese concept that focuses on your purpose in life being the center of what you love doing, what you're good at doing, what you can be paid to do, and what the world needs. So the first step is to copy each of these sticky notes 5 times, and then you can go ahead and copy all those 5 times, and then to start dragging these into the what I love or what the world needs that I care about sections. So one thing I love to do is play music, for instance. It doesn't have to be just related to your career, it's just things that you love doing. One thing that I can be paid for is growth marketing. So then I would drag that down in here. And so the first exercise is just to get creative. What do you love? What are you good at doing? What can you be paid to do? And what does the world need? And that'll help to open up your creative thinking and self reflection muscles and mindset in order to start getting in a better place for the following sections. So then we move over to section 1.2. This is the blocks of life. This is optional, but it's recommended, as everything in this is. The optional ones are in orange here, and the required ones are in red here, so you can distinguish. So this is where you will rearrange the blocks based on what is most important for your aspirational life. What's going to drive fulfillment for you, happiness for you, if you focus your time on it. So there are many blocks here. Don't hope they're not overwhelming, but there are many different elements in life that are important to us. So, for instance, family is broken into two: children, grandchildren. This could be future children, grandchildren as well. Is that something that's going to be very important for you? Or your family, that's parents, siblings, cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents. Partnership, romantic dating, work and career, friends and community, your personal health, finances, wealth. You can see the rest of these here. So drag these in a different order for what's most important to you. So I actually think family is very important. I think personal health is definitely important. Um, Partnership and dating and romance, also important. Friends and community, very important. So you go ahead and drag these. You might, as you're dragging them, realize, oh, you know what? Actually, I think my family is really most important, and then this order goes here. It can be a little bit challenging, but the purpose of this is really to make this space to reflect and really think about: is work the most important thing generally in your life, or is it somewhere else? This is kind of a detour in one way from your career job aspirations and finding out what's next, but it's also part of. It's important to know that your career and your work fits into your overall life. So you shouldn't only focus on career and work, and ignore other aspects of life. And so this is really a reminder about what's important to you in life. So go ahead and reorganize those and so on. Then come to number 1.3, which is another optional. And this is where you think about 5 key experiences or more in your career, your job, that have taught you something significant. What do you like? What do you not like? What inspires you? For instance, I realized I don't want to be in middle management. It's not something that fulfills me. I do want to teach others. And these can be like specific experiences, or they can be just takeaways from your experiences, as I'm doing here. And you can add also like details of my first job at Microsoft, and what it taught you was 1, 2, 3 things. So you can kind of do this however you see fit, but that's an example of how to do this here. And this again helps you to just get into reflection mode. What have you garnered from your previous experience that you can transform into the wisdom to help you figure out what to do next? Section 1.4 is required. This is the space for you to list out goals you might have, questions you might have, or milestones. The difference between a goal and a milestone is that a milestone is something that doesn't necessarily need to be achieved. It's not a you must get 100% on your next quiz. This is more of something that you check in on as you're going and see, am I still on track? Or these are steps in the journey, but they're not huge parts where you say, okay, this chapter in the journey ends with the completion of this goal. So a milestone might be enjoying coaching life. Could be something as general as that, or it could be coach 100 clients. This could be a goal and a milestone here. And again, the difference is a little bit nuanced, but a goal is more like that's when you're trying to achieve something, and like if you do not achieve the goal, then you can be setting yourself up for challenges, frustration, but also, okay, really what's going on here? Let me dive in deeper into this. A milestone is a check-in. I have a milestone of enjoying coaching life and coaching 100 clients. If I don't get to these 100 clients, it's okay. I'll check in and see, is that still the right number? Should it be 50? Should it be 125? Should it be something different? Should this be a different number or focus point here? And a goal might be earn enough income to support myself, family in the next year. So a question might be, is coaching the career path that enables me to earn enough to support myself and family? It's a question that I want to figure out and we'll be exploring. So that's an example of how to use that section. Now moving on to this also maybe seemingly overwhelming, but I'll break it down for you, section 1.5. This is also optional. So this is where you drag in commitments here. What are you willing to commit to do in order to help you figure out what your next step is going to be? These are actions, these are specifics. You can enter your own ideas in here. But for instance, maybe you're willing to change your industry. That's something you're willing to do in order to find a next career or job step that's going to fulfill you. Maybe it's expectation based. I'm going to let go of expectations that I need to find the perfect job and find a job that I enjoy that I can turn into a job that I really enjoy. That is a tenet from Designing Your Life, which is a great book for people to read in this stage. It's by a couple guys that work together at Stanford, and one of them teaches the Stanford Design Thinking School. So it's got a lot of experiential applications from their lives that have been baked into this course. Coaching, for instance, might be another thing. So, okay, maybe I'm willing to find and talk to a mentor, get advice. I'm going to do coaching. I'm going to apply for some jobs, interview for some jobs, definitely. I don't need mock interviews. I'm feeling pretty good about those. I'm willing to... Actually, I'm pretty tired right now. I think before I find my next step, I'm going to take some time off. I'm going to take 1 month off between after the end of this year, and just take a break and allow myself to explore and experiment. Maybe that's not something that you're willing to do. Maybe you don't want to leave before you have your next step specifically figured out. That's totally fine. Every person has a different path. So researching jobs and careers you might like. You know, that book sounded interesting. I'm going to read that one too. I'm going to define my personal and core values. I'm going to make a list of companies I admire and might want to work for. You get the picture. You drag what's here that you're willing to do into this section here. And then you've established a commitment with yourself. And you have this sort of like informal but visual contract that is created a bit of an intention in your mind. So now, if you just said, well, yeah, I'm going to journal, I'm going to talk to people, but you didn't take this action of physically, as physically as you can in a digital whiteboard, dragging that and pulling it into your commitment section, your commitment to that intention is going to be a bit weaker. So the purpose of this is really to have a little ceremony or a ritual that establishes your intention to do these particular commitments. And then you, every time you come back to this board, you see again, oh yeah, I did commit to doing this, that, or the other. So this is section 1, and please do let me know what your thoughts are. You can email me at callmegabek@gmail.com if you would like to get added to this board. And stay tuned for a dive into section 2, where we'll expand from reflecting on what you want to exploring what your options may be.